I am with you again for today's lesson. We're going to be looking at lesson 4 and chapter 5. So if you'll grab those math workbooks and grab a pencil and turn to page 316, we will get started. Okay, so while you're grabbing your materials, I'm going to log into my book so I can pull that up and share along with you. Okay, so we're going to go to the math book, chapter 5, lesson 4, and we need our ebook. Okay, so hopefully everybody's had a chance to get their materials. Actually, on page 315, it introduces this type of word problem. If you want to look how it reminds us of the steps that we need to follow, we'll look there first, but I'll actually be guiding you through the next problem on 316. So on 315, it says, how can I use place value? Okay, so believe it or not, instead of doing just addition or subtraction to solve this type of word problem, for this type, you have to use your what you know about place value and even and odd numbers and other things in your knowledge of numbers to solve these. So these can get a little tricky, but if you'll hang in there with me, we'll get through it. So it says in the word problem here, Eva's house number has 3 digits. The sum of the digits is 7. 2 of the digits are even. The middle digit is 1. The first digit is less than the last digit. What is Eva's house number? Wow, that seems almost impossible to solve, doesn't it, if you read it all at one time? But we're going to take it step by step like we've been taught to do in word problems. So the first thing we're going to do to understand it is, remember, we always underline and circle our information. So we're going to underline what we already know, circle what we need to know. So I'm going to go over here and grab a pen. Okay, so Eva's house number has 3 digits. I'm going to underline the number has 3 digits. Okay. The sum of the digits is 7. Remember, sum is an answer that we get when we add numbers together. That's important too. The sum of the digits is 7. Okay. 2 of the digits are even. That's important to know. 2 are even. And notice that they've already given us the middle digit. The middle digit is 1. Okay. The first digit is less than the last digit. Okay. So finally, we actually get to our final question. What is Eva's house number? So we need to circle. What is Eva's house number? All right, so let's look at it together. It says, how will I solve this problem? We have to plan. Anytime you have a problem like this, the only way you can solve it is to take it one step at a time. Just like we've talked about before, look at one sentence at a time. So our first sentence tells us, right, that Eva's house number has 3 digits. So I'm going to go over here to my workspace on the side. It may not let me. Let's see. Okay, that's okay. We'll put it here. There's our hundreds, tens, ones, okay? And you might want to label that underneath. So I'm going to put myself a H for my hundreds, a T for my tens, and a 0 for my ones. Okay, we also know that the sum of the digits is 7. That means when we add these 3 numbers together, we're going to get 7 when we add those together. All right, 2 of the digits are even. Okay, well, let's think about that. We better remember what our even numbers are. Let's write those here in our planning to help us solve. We know if we skip count by 2 and land on that number, it's even. So that means our even numbers are 0, right? 2, 4, Okay, 6. And last but not least, 8. Remember, you always look in the ones place to find out whether a number is even or odd. Okay, we're going to use our logical reasoning to help us solve this. Remember what we know about numbers. The middle digit is 1. Okay, so that means the tens place, we already know that we have a 1. Okay, I'm going to try to make that better. There we go, 1. Okay, that we also know that the first digit is less than the last digit. So that means the number in my hundreds place has to be less than the number in my ones place. Okay, so if we look at this carefully, we know that the digits are going to add up to be 7. That automatically eliminates 8, right? So we can mark through our 8. All right. 6. If I add 6 and 1, I already have 7. That's probably not going to be it, is it? Because we know that the first digit's less than the last digit. So we're going to mark through that. Notice what that leaves us with, 0, 2, and 4. Okay, so if we take 2 plus 4 and add that together, we get what? Everybody think about that for a second. 2 plus 4. It's exactly right. It equals 6. Okay, and is 2 less than 4? Yes, it is. So we are able to decide that the number has to be 214, doesn't it? Okay, 2 plus 1 is 3, 4 more is 7. Okay, that shows us it's an even number because there's a 4 in the ones place. And also 2 is less than 4. So we have solved that problem. A lot of steps, but we did it. Okay, so let's go to the next page. All right, this is the one I'm going to walk you completely through. Okay, notice they haven't done anything for us on these steps. But as I walk you through this, you need to work this out with me. Okay, so everything I'm modeling, you need to do in your workbook so that when you start on these problems like these over here by yourself, you can refer back to the things I reminded you of to help you solve problems such as this. Okay, so we're going to read through the problem twice. Remember, we're going to read it once for just to understand what we're doing. Second time, we're going to read it to underline what we know, circle what we need to know. The number of dogs at the shelter is a 2-digit odd number. It is more than 80. The tens digit is less than the ones digit. The sum of the digits is 17. How many dogs are at the shelter? Whew, a lot of information again. Let's go back, underline, circle, and start coming up with our plan to solve. Okay, so we're going to go back up here to the pen. Let's use some color this time. Let's use some orange. The number of the dogs at the shelter is a 2-digit odd number. 2-digit odd number. That's important, isn't it? Okay, so now it's not a 3-digit number. It's just a 2-digit number. So we're going to go here. I want you to go ahead and draw your tens place and your ones place. Okay, so we're thinking tens and ones, right? Okay. It is more than 80. Okay, so that's important. We're going to need to know this number is more than 80. Okay, more than 80. So what I suggest that you do now is you start with the number 80 right here, and then we'll see what else we need to do. We may need to create, for example, a number line. Let's find out. The tens digit is less than the ones digit. Okay, well, that automatically tells us, okay, that this number in the tens place is going to be smaller. That's important. So the tens digit is less than the ones digit. Let's underline that. The sum of the digits is 17. All right, so once again, we are looking at adding the tens and the ones together. and getting 17. All right. How many dogs are at the shelter? That is our question. We're going to review and circle. Okay, so we know that our number is 2-digit. We know that it's odd. And we know that it's more than 80. We also know the sum is 17. That's a lot to remember. So first, let's make sure we remember what odd numbers are. Okay, so we know it's going to be a 2-digit number, but in the ones place, if it's odd, we know that it has to be a 1, right? 3, 5, 7. That's not a very good 7 there. Sorry, guys, it's so hard to write these little pencils. And then, of course, 9. So 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Those, we know those are my odd numbers. Okay. We also know the sum has to equal 17. So we know that if it's a 2-digit number, it has to come between 80 and 99, don't we? But this is important. The 10's digits less than the 1's. So that tells us automatically it would have to be in the 80s, right? Because if a 9 is in that 10's place, it's always going to be greater than the 1's. So let's just do our numbers from 80 up to 90, and let's test our numbers. So we've got 80, we've got 81. Okay, is 8 plus 1, does that equal 17? Nope, so we know that's not it. Okay. How about 82? Let's test it. 8 plus 2. Nope, that's only 10. Okay, and that might make us realize, hey, maybe I need to go past 85, past halfway through 80. So let's just go ahead and test 85, since we know that we're not finding the answer yet. Okay, let's do 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5 is, give you a second. Yes, 13. So we're getting closer, right? Those digits need to equal 17. So we know we're definitely getting close now. So we have 80. Let's try 87. Okay, 8 plus 7. That's a near double, isn't it? Because we know 7 plus 7 is 14, and one more makes 16. Ooh, we are getting close. Makes 15, excuse me, not 16, 15. So 7 plus 7 is 14. One more makes 15. We're really getting close because remember, we want the digits to equal 17. So we know it's not going to be that doubles fact. 8 plus 8 is 16. Let's try 89. 89. Okay. 89. We want to add those digits together and see if we get 17. 8 plus 8, do that doubles fact, is 16. Add one more. Is it 17? Yes, so we have found our answer, right? Because the 10's digit is less than the 1's digit, and the two numbers together equals 89. So we finally found our answers. But there's a lot of steps that we had to go through. And that's what Miss Nethery and I expect to see when you solve these problems that we're getting ready to just go over a little bit and turn you loose to work on. Show us that you're underlining and circling. Show us that you're writing your place value blanks. You're showing your odd numbers or even numbers. You're doing a number line, whatever you have to do to come up with a final answer. All right, so we're going to go over here just real quickly. And on a couple of these, not on all, but on a couple of these, I am going to show you what to underline and what to circle. And notice you do have all this workspace. And if you're having trouble, reach out to me, reach out to Miss Nethery, let us help you. But you need to show us that you've been trying. Okay, so a number has 3 digits. The digit in the hundreds place is the difference of 4 and 2. The digit in the tens place is the sum of 2 and 3. The digit in the ones place is 2 more than the digit in the tens place. What is the number? Woo! Okay. Once again, we're going to go back into it. Look at one sentence at a time. Okay, so we know that a number has 3 digits. Of course, we need to know that. So we're going to underline it. And either out here to the side or underneath, you need to show us that, right? You need to show a place for your hundreds, tens, ones. Okay. So hundreds, tens, ones. I want to make those blanks just a little bit darker if we can. Okay. Next step, the digit in the hundreds place is the difference of 4 and 2. The difference. Difference tells me to subtract, remember? So you're going to subtract 2 from 4, and that's going to give you your answer for your hundreds place. All right, moving right along. The digit in the tens place is the sum of 2 and 3. Sum. This time you're going to add. So you're going to go to your tens place and add 2 plus 3. Then last but not least, the digit in the ones place, the ones place is 2 more than the digit in the tens place. So you're going to find your number in the tens place and add what to it? 2, because it says 2 more. Then what is your number? So just use all those clues one at a time and fill in your number. Okay. The next one's not so bad. You're just going to have to show that you know the place value order. Hundreds, right? Tens. And your ones. And just read those clues up there and build your number. But look at number 3. Once again, you got a lot of information going on. And if you don't look at it carefully and then underline, circle, go back and do one sentence at a time, it may trick you. So be careful. Think about what we did here. Okay, we're going to turn the page. All right, so on the back we have Paco puts pennies into 3 groups. Okay, he counts 80 pennies in the first group, 3 pennies in the second group, and 500 pennies in the third group. Okay, so if he has 3 groups, okay, hold on, I've lost my pen. Grab my pen again. Let's still use our orange. It stands out, and it's the week of Halloween, isn't it? So Paco puts pennies into 3 groups. Once again, that means I'm going to have a 100 spot, right? For place value, tens, and a ones. Okay, then I want you to go through and I want you to look at the rest of these clues, underline, circle what you are wanting the final answer to tell you, solve. Okay, on number 5, you are looking at a pattern word problem. Okay, and sometimes that will happen. So you're going to look at how far this family is driving for 3 days. If each day is a certain amount of miles, be careful. Down here, once again, we're going to be looking at a pattern. Okay, on this problem, we have a girl named Jamie that's eating cherries, and it's going to tell you how many she's eating each day and see if you can figure out how many she has eaten by Thursday if the pattern continues. Now, on this one, instead of labeling like 100, tens, and ones, what I encourage you to do is to go ahead and still do your blanks, but label them as your days of the week so you can find the pattern. How many did she eat on Monday? How many did she eat on Tuesday, etc.? and that'll help you. All right. Then when you get to your homework page, please don't just skip over page 319. Take time to look at it because it's going to remind you steps to use. And you might even be looking at expanded form that we just reviewed earlier. And just remember those tricks as you do the last 4 on the back that we've talked about. Okay, so take your time, underline what you know, circle what you need to know. Okay, and then go back and do 1 sentence at a time to help you come up with a final answer. You can do it because you are super second graders. All right, so don't forget to turn in that math to Miss Nethery and I, and we can't wait to see how you do on these word problems. Have a marvelous Monday. Bye, guys.